I would like to know, guys, what is your film guilty pleasure, please? Let's go with Stu.
Well, it's a film that stars. Well, I say stars. There's certain people in this film that you think, oh, what could this possibly be? So, in this film, feature Isaac Hayes, Buzz Aldrin, Niki Lauda, Jennifer Rush, Shari Belafonte, Simon Shepherd, and Roger Moore. And it is, of course, made in 1990, called Fire, Ice and Dynamite. And just the astounded look on your face.
Yeah.
This is a film that's no one's ever heard of. It's Simon Shepherd from Peak Practice, the hit 90s ITV drama. He's pretty much the star. Roger Moore is in it quite a bit. It's basically Wacky Races, but live action.
Right, okay.
I can't even remember. I think me and MMA Goldie, I think we found it in the game bargain bucket in game. It was just in there. It was the only film in there. And I thought, why on earth is this in? Oh, it's got Roger Moore in. It's got to be good. And again, IMDb 4.0, 899 reviews.
Wow.
I mean, that's higher than some modern day blockbusters. That's ridiculous.
Is it kind of like that? You remember the film Rat Race? Is
It's
that a kind of similar concept to that? Is it?
Very similar to Rat Race.
Yeah, I like that film as well.
Rat Race was based on something else as well. Well, there's the original one there. But yeah, this is the billionaire. The billionaire dies, and he sets up this thing to whoever wins the race wins his money. That's the premise of it all. And it's probably the film that no one's ever heard of. No one should like it. It's probably not great, but it's almost like every Christmas I watch it because it's got snow in it. It's not a Christmas film. It's not a Thanksgiving film. It's wintry, and you think, oh, it gets you in the mood for Christmas. And the incredible levels of high camp in this one, incredible levels. But if you can find it, give it a check. But it's one of them where you won't forget it once you've seen it. That's guaranteed.
Well, that one's made it onto my list already.
Absolutely. Andy, what about yourself, mate? What's your guilty pleasure?
Well, I was thinking about this because I don't have any shame when it comes to films. I like stuff that's great, stuff that's terrible, and everything in between. But I was thinking about actors that are associated with shit, for want of a better word. I thought, well, you know what? I quite like Statham. I'm a big fan of Jason Statham. He does a lot of very lowbrow. I love the Crank films. They're just great fun. I thought, well, you know what? Actually, big fan of The Rock's early stuff, The Scorpion King, which gets shat on constantly, but I enjoyed that. And then also I thought, throw in Vin Diesel, who's another guy who does terrible things, but I really enjoyed Bloodshot. But those three guys, you've got the Fast and Furious. Right there.
Knew this was coming.
Yeah, that is my guilty pleasure. Is just, apart from the second one, which might be the worst film I've ever seen, and not even in a so bad it's good way, just terrible movie. But yeah, the rest are great fun. Once you get to probably about the fifth one, and it stops just being about racing, quarter of a mile down the road, and they become action films, they're brilliant. But you do realise once you get to that point and they're doing a heist in Brazil, in a country they've never ever been to, but they've hacked into the system and they're changing all of the road traffic lights so they can get away. But then you remember that 2 films ago, they were selling TV, DVD combos out the back of his truck. And how the hell have we got to this point? It is bananas, but I love Fast and Furious. How about yourself, Matt? What are you guilty of?
I want to preface this with we're in an enlightened time now, and for all the right reasons, we're questioning things that we may have previously thought were acceptable, or that we're having a deeper think into things. So my favourite film of all time was Forrest Gump, which I'm now moving into a guilty pleasure. And the reason for that is, I think I look back on Forrest Gump, and when I watch it, it still entertains me. I still find it like quite a sweet tale when I don't look at it too much of a deep dive, and I think to myself it's funny, and I look at it as exactly what that. But then when you do a deeper dive into it, there are themes that are massively outdated in it now. There are questionable elements to it that are starting to make me feel a little uncomfortable the more and more I think about it. But it is a guilty pleasure in the fact that I still find entertainment in it, and I still think, and me and Andy will hammer this point out a lot, that I really rate Tom Hanks in the film. But it's a guilty pleasure in that I know there are some elements to it that are now outdated and probably wouldn't be as acceptable nowadays. But I do get a kick out of it, and I do enjoy the film. But we're going to use this podcast as a cleansing for me to grow. So that's why that film has been moved into that category.
I think with things like that, though, I think we just, I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure. It's just you enjoyed the film when you watch. If you watch the film now with the way things are, and you liked it now, then you got to think, well, okay. But you liked it in a more innocent time.
Yeah,
so
no, I understand.
I'd take it like that. That film, I know people who absolutely despise that film, and they can't stand it whatsoever.
Yeah, we're talking to one of them.
Yeah.
And how it won that many, who knows? But it's fine. It's fine. But it's I wouldn't worry too much about its issues.